My name is Vici Howard. When I was a little girl, I used to disappear into my own little world. You see that table back there? I would cover it with blankets and sheets and turn it into a fort. And I would hide for hours just being in my own little world. I'm 57, that hasn't changed. It hasn't changed at all. I still live in my own world. Back then I thought I was special, but then I realized that you just artists, that's all. That's just what we do. That's just what we do. My dad, the way we would connect, he would take me to see Blaxploitation films. And I remember him taking me to see Superfly, not the reboot, like the original Superfly. And this was back in the day when they didn't have ratings. So you saw what you saw. And they didn't even do this. You know those boomer parents, it's just whatever happens, right? But I was so engaged in Blaxploitation movies. And I'm a little girl, like 7, 8, I'm like, oh my God, this is kind of cool, Still not knowing that something was gently brewing. And I also thought was kind of odd when I was a little girl, I enjoyed the Oscars. Like I was like 8 years old watching the entire 3-4 hour program of the Oscars. And even though I didn't see anyone that looked like me, something inside of me said, that's my tribe. That's my tribe. And I really enjoyed watching. I said, one day I'm going to be there. One day. And so I knew that I wanted to finally clicked, I'm going to be a filmmaker. I want to be a filmmaker. I'm going to go to Columbia College, and I'm going to be a filmmaker. And my folks was like, girl, get you a real good government job. And just stop living in a dream world and get a government job. That didn't sit right with me as well. So I was like, no, I think I'm just going to go to Columbia College, and I'm going to make movies. Forget the post office. We don't need that. I had a great time. Let me tell you, Columbia College, that was probably one of the best 3 years of my entire life was being at Columbia College. When I was a senior, the counselor called me down and he said, Vici, is it New York or LA? I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, New York or LA, make a choice. And I'm like, you couldn't tell me that 3 years ago? Don't you think that's some information I needed 3 years ago? That those were my only two choices? And this was like before Harpo Studios. It was none of that. Oprah, it was none of that. It was New York, LA. So I go home and I tell my grandmother, I said, the counselor said, I need to go to either New York or LA to make it as a filmmaker or get into the film industry. And she said, that's your little red wagon, you can push it or pull it. But if you leave here, you're not coming back. Oh my God, I was so scared. Because now you're taking away my entire safety net. So now, like, if I go and it doesn't work, like, what the heck am I supposed to do, right? So out of fear, I stayed. And I got married. That's my wedding day. That was my wedding day. Do I look happy? New York or LA? Okay, let me go get married and have some babies. And these are my babies. And let me tell you, they are a beautiful distraction. Children can be a beautiful distraction. And it just kind of takes you out of whatever you think you are going to do. Yeah, have some babies. I'll knock you out of it right away. But still, something was like, something's not right. A neighbor's child, this is like a 10-year-old kid, he got a part in The Color Purple in Broadway. And I was jealous of a child, like a whole kid. I was like, who he is? Like just nasty, But then I learned, like, okay, sometimes jealousy is a good thing. Like lean into it. Sometimes, people tell you that jealousy is a bad thing, but sometimes it's a good thing because that's that's your soul telling you that you're off course, that you're off course. So I wasn't jealous of that kid. I wasn't jealous of him. I just wasn't doing what I was put here to do. So that had nothing to do with him. It was all me. So yeah, don't get jealous of 10-year-olds. That's not a good look. Not a good look. So 20 years later, my beautiful distractions, they grow up, and I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do that? My house is empty. I can hear the whole echo. I call, nobody's calling back. I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? And that little voice was like, maybe you should write something. Maybe you should film something. That's what you always want to do. Guys, I convinced myself that, oh no, I don't want to do that. Let me get another dream. Let me go travel the world and be a foodie and go to rooftop bars with my girlfriends. I convinced myself that being a filmmaker, that's something I wanted to do when I was like 19, 20 years old, and I'm mature and it's like, whatever, move on. But if it's for you, it never goes away. Like it just lays dormant. It's like what they call it, like the pilot light is on. It's still there, right? So, in 2022, a friend of mine and I, we wrote a script called The Singles. And I paid $75 late fee to submit it to Urban World Film Festival. And by golly, we got in. We got in. And I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. This feels good. This feels like really, really good. Like this is who I am. So I come back, that was in October, so I come back and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a movie and now the kids can help me. Like, okay, so all that time raising kids, now I can put them to work, right? Kids can help me. I have crew that I don't have to pay. And so I made a short film called The Singles. I submitted The Singles to 20 film festivals and didn't get into not one. I paid $700 in submission fees, did not get into one. I was all in my feelings. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do my best Tyler Perry, and I'm gonna four-wall a theater. Filmmakers, you know what four-walling is. Like you rent out the theater and you show it yourself. So I four-walled the smallest theater at the Music Box. It was 75 seats. And I said, well, nobody's gonna come and see my little 20-minute movie, so let me get other women involved. So we have 5 other filmmakers that came along with me, and so now we have like maybe an hour and 15 minutes or whatever. So we had an actual program. It was sold out, it was standing room only. And I was like, maybe I'm on to something here. You know, because in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm just going to be a filmmaker. That means I'm going to make movies. I'm going to go to Hollywood, blah, blah, blah. But there are so many other avenues to filmmaking. So what did I do? I made my own film festival. I created a film festival. It's called the Black and Brown Femme Films. And femme, the word femme, means it's inclusive to anyone who identifies with the feminine perspective. Anyone. If you have that feminine perspective and you're Black and brown, send us your film. And because I was still in my feelings from that $700 in submission fees, I decided, you know what, I'm not charging because I know how that hurts. So I'm not charging submission fees. This is going to be a nonprofit. Send me all of your free films and we will figure it out. And people will tell me, girl, you're not going to make any money. You're wasting your time, blah, 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 blah. I said, you know what? My spirit is telling me that this needs to be a submission-free film festival. So yeah, this is my first logo. I think we made that on like Canva. That looks so bad. This one, we actually paid somebody. And this is our final logo because now that involves, we have 3 programs. We have the film festival, we have a poetry festival, and we have, the pink represents, we have a vibe exhibition celebrating women of color. So it's a pop-up museum on all the cool things that women of color have contributed to society. So this logo, that embraces everything, right? Pretty cool, right? All right, running a nonprofit, Lord. Yeah, this is what I feel like. Like running a nonprofit, it's 7 days a week. It is literally 8 to 12 hours a day if you want it to be successful. It is not easy at all because again, I'm not making any money. But within a year, with grants and donations and gifts, within a year, BBFF raised $32,000. $32,000 that we could put back into the community, the community. So a lot of our events are free, and if we charge, it's a very nominal fee. It's like nothing is over $15, like $12, and you can come and see a bunch of beautiful movies and do like really cool stuff and hang out with cool people. Yeah, that's what I feel like most of the time. But it's definitely a labor of love. So it's not hard work, it's heart work. It's heart work. Because at the end of the day, you know who you are. When I was 6, 7 years old, sitting there watching Blaxploitation films that I shouldn't have been watching with my dad, but I knew, yeah, film, this is it. This feels right. Being a filmmaker, being a storyteller, this is who I am. And 30 years later, it's still there. So you always know who you are. Don't defer to anyone else for your dreams. Be authentically you. No one knows you better than you know yourself. No one knows you better than you know yourself. So, yeah, there I am, authentically me. So thank you so much for your time, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.